Online retailers featuring video on their sites boost customer browsing time by 340%. Even better, e-commerce video increases the add to cart conversion by 37%. But what does the post-pandemic customer journey look like, and what role does video play? Greg Armshaw, the Senior Solutions Director for Brightcove across APAC, is our first speaker for this session, and he will share with us the 5 steps to succeed in e-commerce. Greg has more than 20 years of experience in advertising, digital marketing, and has a rich experience in building consumer offerings in the enterprise brands and media sector in Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, Greg will be coming up next, so please stay tuned and we will be back shortly.
Hi, I'm Greg Armshaw from Brightcove. I'm really pleased to be joining you this afternoon, and I've got a lot of thanks here for the Smart Retail guys for inviting me to present to you guys. Based out of Singapore, where I've lived for 10 years. I've previously lived in Hong Kong for 5 years, but I've been helping brands in this region for, I suppose, 15, 16 years now, go to market digitally. And I want to share some of that experience with you today. And there's going to be a very strong focus on video because Brightcove is a video company. I'm going to be talking about the new customer journey with video for retail. And guess what? I'm going to start with a video. So today, Brightcove is a global company. We're based out of Boston in the US, but we've had a team in Singapore for some 10 years now. We actually work across multiple different categories, but what I'm going to share with you today is who we are and what we do in the retail and e-commerce space. So first of all, it's probably easier if I tell you who our customers are. So across many different ways of using video in the retail space, we work with these wonderful customers: Boss, H&M, Macy's in the US, Myntra in India, Tmon in Korea. And this is just a few of the really fantastic brands and retail platforms that we work with in this region and around the world. And what's amazing with these organizations is that they don't all use us in the same way. Some of us use for internal communications. Some of us we're on the product detail page of e-commerce sites. Others, we're facilitating live commerce experiences. So what's wonderful about working with Brightcove is you get access to an understanding of how many of some of the best names in retail are building premium experiences that drive engagement, that drive revenue, and drive results with video. And these guys come to us because clearly we're the biggest and we're the best. The reality is with video, in many different use cases, is that actually reliability and scalability are two of the most important areas for delivering video. In the advertising space, what we know is that if there's any delay in delivering that video experience, that the customer and the consumer goes somewhere else, basically. Now, the reality is that with Brightcove, you can be assured of fantastic performance 24/7, and you can rely on us to be delivering the content to your customers whenever they need to consume it. As you can see here, one of my favorite stats in this slide is the 99.95% uptime. That amounts to just a few minutes every single year. And we have scale, up to 14 million consumers can be on the same stream with us. So really, no matter what's happening with your flash sales or what products are doing well, you are able to rely on Brightcove to deliver that experience, whether they're up country on a mobile device or in the middle of Singapore on a gigabit network. You really can rely on Brightcove to deliver quality and scale. So I'd like to start by just going in and talking about some of the retail trends that we're seeing in this era of the pandemic, if that's a phrase that you'll let me use. So some stats here from eMarketer. Online retail grew last year. It's no surprise to anyone, and I'm sure we've heard this a few times today. The fact is that online retail has grown over 25% in 2020 globally, at the same time as overall retail decline. So for e-commerce as a percentage of the segment, we're looking at close to 18% now. That online retail is a part of total retail. So emerging into quite a significant percentage of total retail. Also in this region, especially, we're seeing in China, just a couple of years ago, revenues on e-commerce from live streaming was around $63 billion a year. Just last year, those revenues, GMV revenues, grew to 125 billion, almost doubling in a single year. And we see these trends, while they're a bit more nascent in other markets, definitely growing. We see Rakuten embracing live streaming and e-commerce. We see other platforms around the region, even in Singapore, where I am, Lazada are regularly doing live streaming now. So this is definitely a trend which is born out of Asia, which is spreading to the rest of the world. Also, what's happening on the e-commerce marketplaces is that they're now pay to play. The reality is that if you want your merchant or your home brand marketplace to be discovered on, home brand page to be discovered on these marketplaces, is that you're going to have to pay. I'm not familiar with how they're setting up their search algorithms, but the reality is that there's a very good chance that people can buy your brand name as a keyword on search results, and so come up even when people are searching for your products first. This number here is 7.9 billion for this is from Amazon, and this is basically derived mostly from platform search and display ads within the platform. $7.9 billion every quarter they're now making as people, as brands pay to be discovered on Amazon. Also, what's happening? The big brands are going direct to consumer. Nike now is not quite at 50%, but they are pushing hard to get to 50% of all revenues being derived from direct to consumer experiences. Adidas has backed that up themselves. Nike.com, by the way, is now the biggest fashion retail site in the world with 150 million visitors every single month. What we're seeing as brands move into this direct-to-consumer experience, they will be looking for solutions to help them, drive consumers to their platforms and to help them make purchase decisions on platforms. So this has been nascent for a while, but it's growing over the last few years and has accelerated during COVID. We've been supporting these kind of experiences for some time now, but they're definitely front of mind as we moved into a post-COVID world. So, has what's happened over the last year, is that an unprecedented change? Is it going to be the same moving forward? So what we saw last year was from our data, which is data that comes, it's not research data, it comes directly out of our platform, that there was a 78% uptick in retail video views just during a single quarter last year, and 114% increase in retail video views on our platform. And obviously mobile is an important part of that, so the increase in video views on mobile actually increased greater than the overall retail video views. So we can see here the trends that we're probably well familiar with in the region. And the thing is with video is our customers keep telling us that no matter where they use video, whether it's in emails, whether it's based on optimizing their search engine results, or even just on the website, all metrics are improved with video. Here you can see click-through rate for emails, 13% increase. Search engine optimization results are massively improved, and website traffic generally. Without a doubt, there are when you invest in video and use video within the e-commerce experience, you get better results. Just to be aware, Brightcove does not create videos for you. We are the video delivery platform. Creating the videos is still your job. So what will be the new normal? So to give you some kind of framing for this, what I've done is, and the team here in Singapore, we've put five steps to e-commerce success. So hopefully you'll appreciate the efforts that we've put into kind of giving you some benchmarks to embracing this new world of e-commerce and video. So as you saw just now, tip number one, optimize for mobile. I'm sure many of you are Asian-based companies, locally managed, and you will be all, completely familiar with this. Anyone with maybe US or European-based companies, sometimes within those organizations, there's a focus on PCs and laptops as websites, consumption devices. The fact is that most people in Asia learn to use the internet with their thumb, and most people in the US learn to use the internet with a mouse. And this is something that we have to make sure that we're focusing on, and especially as we get to 5G speeds. Most of our consumers in this region are going to be looking to complete the transaction on a mobile device. So just be aware, if you do have US or European colleagues, that you might have to educate them in that space. A great example of this actually was Tmon in Korea. Hold on a second, just get this right. The great example of this was Tmon in Korea, who really focused on making sure that their live experience was optimized, and the live experiences and the live commerce that they do, which saw really significant increases in conversion rate and increases in top line revenue from these live events, was primarily optimized for mobile. Tip number two, we're a video company, we may have expected this, but optimizing for video really in every part of the marketing funnel is incredibly important. Whether you're off-site, using video advertising on OTT platforms or other publishers, and social video is important. On-site, on the product detail page, demonstrating how your products or services are actually being worked. We even have one of our most amazing case studies in this region is if financial services can make video work for them, no matter what your product is, you can make video work for you. Interactive has been big for a long time, especially for brands wanting to create really nice interactive experiences. But really the poster child of the last year or so, especially in this region, is definitely live and live commerce, flash sales, demonstrations, etc. But also don't forget about post-purchase and maybe even customer service. Video is great for that, for helping people solve payment problems or understand how to return products, etc. Nike, we mentioned before, very public about their goal to get to 50% of revenues generated from direct-to-consumer platforms, which includes Nike.com. They've heavily gone into using video as well, especially on their sneakers app. They're using video to really engage with their most engaged customers, who are the, in the case of sneakers, the consumers of collectible items. And we can expect to see Nike, Adidas, and other platforms definitely investing in video globally. Now, one of the stats that our customers regularly share with us is that conversions and increasing basket size is a byproduct of using video. One of the things which is important to all e-commerce players is actually reducing returns. Returns can be one of the biggest sucks of revenue as people are forced to, as you're forced to take returns back from customers who have bought by mistake or bought something that when they received it, it wasn't the product that they thought it was. Videos are proven to reduce ambiguity, colors, things like that, the way that, especially in fashion, the way that things fall, in things like white products and appliances, technical products. Educational videos do a really good job of taking the ambiguity, taking the confusion out of any purchase so that people know what they're buying and they're returning less. One of our customers in India is Myntra, who using video on their product detail page. They don't share a lot about this, as you would expect, but they definitely say that video on the product detail page moves the needle on returns materially. So they're seeing significant returns on the investment in making sure that videos are available on their product detail pages. Tip 4, how can you drive engagement? People who spend more time on platforms, whether it be media platforms or shopping platforms, etc., will consume and purchase more. So your goal when you're entertaining, educating, or providing utility to your customers is to drive really good engagement levels. AO.com is not available in this region. It's a UK-based. They sell white goods, washing machines, fridges, etc. They put a lot of time into making sure that people understand how to buy the best washing machine, how to measure your kitchen area that you're going to place these items, and you understand things like cost efficiency, energy efficiency, and these kind of things. And they track the purchase path of all of their customers, and they know that their conversion rate is higher when people engage with the video related to their products or related to the category. And some great research here. You know, consumers really value video when looking at these individual categories. Personal electronics, especially, seemingly off the charts, and that people really value when they're buying a video in the purchase funnel when they're looking at buying personal electronics. Home appliances, the example we've just seen. Apparel and makeup are definitely part of the shopping experience. And actually, I'm surprised that that's a little bit low. But you can see that there are certain categories that really respond well to video. As you might expect, there's a little bit of a slant towards the younger folks, but really these are not material, and you can expect, especially after the year, this data is actually from pre-COVID, that after the year we've had where we've all been glued to video of one form or another, that no matter what age you are more open to consuming and interacting with video. And one of the really strongest things, and we see this from China, but also across the region, is really, and actually this is a global phenomenon, is that if you show that you're human and that people are not buying from a software platform, you show that you're human, people can relate to you more and will be more trustful of the platform when buying products from it. Here's an example. Actually, one thing to remember here is that authenticity definitely beats perfection. So, if these videos are recorded from a mobile device and maybe, tidied up a little bit here and there, that is the primary concern that you have, rather than making sure that you've got a beautifully produced video, and you're spending thousands of dollars on studios, etc. That is less important than authenticity. And an example from recent years was actually Arnie Sorensen, who sadly has died since making this. But he reached out. He's actually was the CEO and chairman, I think, of Marriott International, and he did a very emotional sharing of the impact of COVID on the hotel business. And he did this very publicly and very openly on video. And his kudos, who's already well respected, but his kudos went up. Both with his staff and with his peers, to say this is a true showing of leadership for him to stand in front of the camera and, when, as it says here, delivering bad news face to face, really has a massive impact on, proving and showing authenticity with your consumers and indeed your customers. So, maybe you're halfway through a video strategy. Maybe you've got one already. Maybe you're just considering it because I'm making such a good presentation. Wherever you are, you need to be aware that videos are not all made for the same purpose. And you need to be thinking about what is the goal of this video? Why are we making it? And what are we expecting it to achieve? So any marketers among you will be familiar with awareness, engagement, conversion, retention, and advocacy, the new purchase loop, purchase funnel, if you like. Within these types, you have brand promotions, company culture, how-to tutorials, maybe product detail page videos, unboxing, tips and tricks, etc. All of these may have a different use and a different purpose depending on how you're using them and where you're placing them. The beautiful thing about once it's online and it's being consumed online, especially in a logged in environment, is that the analytics that you get about how effective that video has been are exceptionally revealing. It might be that your how-to tutorial only needs to be a minute long rather than the 3 minutes that you previously created. It might be that your customer service video on how to get a refund needs to be a bit longer because people are watching it all the way through and still unhappy that the content isn't serving its purpose. It's the analytics behind online video that actually are the unseen and sometimes unsung hero of providing video. Because once you know how much of a video that people are consuming and what their next steps are, then you can tailor that experience and the video content to ensure that it is fit for purpose. And here's a great example. A single video, for example, if you can take this hypothetical example, gets 250 video views. But what is a video view? If you listen to Facebook, a video view is 3 seconds of content. We don't have that point of view. 3 seconds might be sufficient, but actually, whatever period of time you've decided on for your marketing messages or whatever message it might be, that if people are consuming 90% of that content, it means that the message is well received and it's serving its purpose. So, for example, if a consumer is looking for, is watching a video, in this case, a gamer's package, which might be related to telco retail. Okay, I'm looking at, and people go on to make a purchase after watching 90%. It means that video is definitely serving its purpose. However, only 17% means that, which is not converting. So let's say people are watching a very short amount of a video after searching for maybe a business package. They're clearly not getting the value out of that video, so they would be then removed from the nurture track or whatever the next steps are on your marketing automation. So the data that you get back about video consumption is really interesting and really valuable for you to understand how your customers are engaging with that content and the steps that they're taking next. As I say, looking at video, you can use video across all of the different areas for whether it be on your product detail page, whether it be on live commerce, whether it be marketing on other platforms. The different ways you can use video, you should definitely investigate. But once you invest in a platform like Brightcove, it doesn't all have to be customer facing. What I'm going to show you next is a video. It's reasonably long, but stick with it. It's a pretty good case study that we're very proud of working with McDonald's, which is a quick service restaurant, as you know, and they use video to keep their very transient, their staff don't stay with them very long because they're students or people who just after short-term jobs, keeping them up to date, keeping them educated, and keeping them engaged. So please enjoy this video.
McDonald's Japan is second largest market in the world. The majority of our crews is young adults. They are students. We need to expect they will leave our restaurants every 3 years or 4 years. So we need to educate them all the time. Video is the most efficient material to educate them. Before we bring video communication into the restaurants, we used paper material. So every time we change the contents of material, we release a booklet itself to whole lesson, to whole crews. It costs very much. The video helps them understand more efficiently, accurately. We had a big incident a couple of years ago. We completely lost our confidence with business in Japan. So we need to motivate them. We gathered the video dancing from all crews. So we edit that video into one dance video. That was a really great experience for us to be one team. Brightcove provided us the new technology to work on every environment. And Brightcove also provided us API so that crew can submit their video by themselves. On a regular basis, we are using Brightcove video to release the business result of previous months. Our CEO also communicates with our crews to tell them our priority of the month. Additionally, we are using this in the town hall meeting. We gathered whole members of McDonald's system. The video message is really easy to reach out this size of community. From our perspective, Brightcove is the best solution to provide the efficient environment to see the video material in the restaurants. Brightcove technology allows us to bring management message to restaurants correctly. So without their help, we cannot achieve this kind of goal. Our business in Japan recently really good, so I'm sure Brightcove Japan helped us a lot.
So this is a great case study that we're really proud of. It is I think you may have noticed in there, a couple of years ago, McDonald's Japan had a health scare, and all of the local teams, as I say, these are not lifer McDonald's employees. They're there for a few years, and they had a program where they inspired and brought the team together with great teamwork and camaraderie, building the dance video there. And they managed to re-inspire these distributed teams who typically wouldn't get exposure to senior management, typically wouldn't get exposure to other employees in different markets, and they managed to inspire them. And as you heard, the results of McDonald's Japan significantly rebounded after this program. So the reality is, whether you're on or offline retail, the value of video is significant. And I think after the recent year that we've had, people are much more familiar with creating video and are very happily sat in front of a camera. So we can probably see that the increase in video within retail, and especially on e-commerce, is going to increase significantly. Internal or external, customer facing or not. So to recap, I've got 5 tips for you for e-commerce. Make sure that you're optimizing your sites and experience for mobile. Sure, you can still look at the desktop experience, but do make sure that you're not forgetting about the mobile experience. With 5G especially, sites that do not work well on mobile are going to be left behind. Optimize your site and experience for video. Ensure that you are building video into that experience, because if you're not, you're missing out on reach, you're missing out on engagement, and you're missing out on sales. Also, you're missing out on the opportunity to reduce returns, which is the next point. Minimize returns by reducing that ambiguity. Images are fine, text is fine, but let's face it, watching a video, especially when you know, one of the things I love about the Mintra video was that they gave the size and the statistics of the lady who was modeling that dress. You know, people then can say, okay, I'm a bit taller than that, or I'm a bit shorter, or maybe I'm a bit skinnier. I can see how that's going to work for me. It's the same way that people shop offline. This video is a wonderful way of enabling that for your users. So put some time in, think about it, and make sure that you're delivering that experience. Engage and empower your buyers. Allow them to take part in the experience, especially for live shopping. But also, and potentially most important, humanize the retail experience. As it becomes more digital, the human touch needs to be, and the human engagement needs to be expanded. So make sure that you take time to share something about your corporate culture, share something about every day in the life of an e-commerce packer or an e-commerce merchandiser. Do something which makes your consumer, your potential consumer, see you as an approachable and trustworthy organization. Really thank you for spending your time watching me today and investing your time with Brightcove. Please Google us or take down my email address. Look me up on LinkedIn. More than happy to talk to you and tell you how our customers have built great businesses with video. Thank you.